kind of an update. Got lots of stuff to go. I got 8 days till back to 50s 2016. Hoping to get this thing there. Actually, it will be there, but I'm hoping it's on there on its own power. So, Wild-Torquey. Hey, you guys remember this shirt? I was wearing this in like episode 1 or 2. Yep, still got it. Almost 2 years later. Yeah. So initially, when I was trying to start this engine, I made a rookie mistake, and I actually didn't ground the motor to the frame very well. So I was actually trying to ground through everything that was attached to the transmission, like the lines, and I ended up burning out one of my braided stainless lines because it shorted out. I'll show you here. You can see it actually started on fire, and it burnt a hole in the dang line because it was trying to send all that electric current through this line, which was touching the frame, and it was also plumbed in the transmission, obviously. So that was an issue there. Now I gotta get a new line, damn it. But lesson learned. So right now, temporarily, I just used some jumper cables going from bolts on the frame to some studs on the exhaust manifold, but I'm actually gonna take some nice 0 gauge oxygen-free copper wire here, and I'm right now putting on the ends. Now these ends are really a pain in the ass usually. What most people do is they use like a hammer and a chisel or some sort of a vise, but what I actually ordered was this Larry B's press type deal. Now I've seen other people make these too, but Larry B's also has a lot of other Cummins parts like this shut-off solenoid. So I ordered them together, knowing I'd have to use these. So basically all you gotta do, you set your fitting in, or you set your wire in there, in that hole there, set it on the table, take a hammer, and it basically just presses it, pushes it together, and it works good. So I'm gonna do that on these lines, get this motor grounded to the frame well, so I do not have starting issues or power loss issues again. Now, if you have solid motor mounts, that's not an issue, but again, I am running the original rubber style motor mounts and a rubber style transmission mount, so that does not allow for grounding to the frame, which you need. Now I also have a custom setup here that one of my buddies machined for me. Now you can see that this is just an aluminum block, and it's got actually 2 sets of passages in it. So one passage, about the bottom 2/3, is all air. So my air lines for my compressor will actually come into this, go through the water trap, come into this block, and then they'll be distributed out through these lines, which go to my tank and my train horn. And then there's also another 1/8 inch line here, which goes to my governor, which tells my compressor when to stop pumping, like a pressure switch. And then this top section here, the top third of this piece, is actually for vacuum lines. So I can use this basically for anything. I can use it for vacuum lines, oil coolant lines, anything really. So this will most likely be used for my vacuum lines, which will control my wastegate, which will go to all my gauges, which will go to my boost controller, which is down in there right now, but I think I'm going to switch all this up a little bit. So yeah, that's that. Another couple of cool pieces. You can see this is an aluminum custom machine piece that has a 1/2 inch MPT to 2 3/8 MPT with 6 A&N nipples. And then here's the lines that come into that from my compressor, obviously. I went with 2 6 AN lines because I couldn't actually get the size I wanted for cheaper than that, so I just went with 2 smaller lines. I probably could have got away with 1, but I went with 2. Up here you can see there's another one of these custom machine blocks, and then it actually goes into a, a shower head pipe, which comes off this compressor. And it obviously feeds the air around. I think it'll be pretty cool. So I have some old 5-point harnesses from a buddy's dirt track car, and I'm actually going to use one of them as sort of like a strap for a blow-off strap, you know, like what they do on blower cars. They have the blower straps that if the blower blows, it can only fly so far, and it's not dangerous. So what I did here was I just took one of these basic clasps. That's a hard word to say. And it was off of one of the lap straps that has the clip in it, obviously. See, I just cut off the tip of it, which goes into there normally, and clamps in. And I have that magneted to my intake. So now, you can see this was just like this before, obviously. So now I can just weld this up. And again, I'm using my ARCONE welding helmet that I got. Pretty nice helmet. I weld almost every day, so it's nice to have a nice helmet finally. I was so sick of that Harbor Freight cheap thing that I had hurting my eyes. So yeah, I'll weld that up, and then that'll be safer. Good safety strap. Free! Alright, so it's Sunday night, 5 days before Back to 50s, and I'm out here working on the car. I got a lot of little stuff done. I started putting in the back floor pans. I got the shocks, the Bilstein shocks hooked up. Got my little grommets here. You can see they go around the shocks. They're riveted in. Over there you can see that grommet that's riveted in where the airline comes through. I have my AVS wiring set up, ran through, and right now I have all these pressure sensors wires. If you look down in here, you might be able to see the valves, and then if you look even closer up in there, you can see some little senders, which are actually electronic senders. Oh, sorry, air compressor kicked on. There's 4 of these electronic senders in that plate that's under the body that I was just showing you, and each one of these goes and plugs into that. See, this plugs into there, and this tells me my air pressure. So now I have all 4 of these, and I have to run it the way I'm doing this wiring. Now you can see I have, for the AVS switch box, I have velcroed in this module, this control module, which has the wiring which goes back to all my valves right here, and then these are where it's going to hook for power. Now these, I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to run them yet, but these right here, I will run, obviously, each one from underneath. It'll go underneath, come around here, and then it'll follow this main little loop of stuff that I have here, and then it'll go up to my dash, my gauge cluster. So these are nice. They come with the AVS digital air ride pressure gauge. So it's a few days before Back to the 50s 2016, and I got myself my fancy PJ trailer. I got it uncoated, so it's rusting, obviously. It's exactly what I wanted. Right now it's got white wheels, which I'm going to do my custom little paint job to. It's got a Blackwoods Pro deck flooring, which is actually like a rubberized top coat that goes on top of the original flooring. It's pretty nice. It gets nice and sticky in the warm weather, so you're not slipping if it's raining. Hydraulic tilt, 16-foot, 22-foot total deck. Got the super winch on there, just hand jacks. Nice toolbox. To see, there's the hydraulic pump, there's the battery, there's the controller. Spare tire, all the breakaway stuff, safety chains, whatever. Obviously I'm not pulling it with this. This is just my locking device at the time because I don't have a lock yet. Pretty nice trailer. I'm excited. It's gonna look dope behind my car. It's enough to see in there. Lifted the tires clear off the ground. So I'll do my clear treatment once this is all rustified and looks sweet. I'm excited about this. It's gonna look fucking badass, dude. PJ Trailers. Good deal, nice trailer. Hell yeah. You can see in that bag I have all my fittings sort of taken out of the boxes and then labeled. All the centers and whatnot. Here are all of my gauges. And right now I'm actually installing a pyrometer. So I'm just going to take a heat gun, and I have this shrink tube over these connectors which go to the pyro, which go obviously into the exhaust manifold and then down into my firewall. So I'm just using a heat gun. I'm going to heat this up quick. And you can see right here, this is my exhaust pressure copper right here. Because on a turbo car, you want to know your exhaust pressure versus your boost, so you know if your turbos are working properly. See, obviously it's a shrink tube. Finishing up a lot of the last minute details. I guess not really last minute, but working on the windows, LEXAN windows. I gotta make a windshield template to get the windshield. I got my battery in there that I gotta wire up. Started putting in the floors back here, really dusty. You can see I ran the air lines through right there, through that little grommet that I made, just out of a piece of rubber tire inner tube that I riveted into that panel, and it's got some holes for the air line to come through. Working a little bit on this valve wiring. I'm getting some Deutsch fasteners, or Deutsch connectors for wiring, so I can do like quick release style harnesses. I got the AUTOMETer exhaust pressure port here, or ported up, hooked up sort of. I'm waiting on a diesel filter adapter, which has like a little coal catch in it so that it doesn't go into your gauge. Got the vacuum lines ran, got the pyrometer wire ran. I got my NITROUS Express water methanol injection tuner set right here. I just riveted into the body. Works out pretty good. It's really sturdy. And for that, I got another hose barb. And this boost control, or this methanol controller actually runs off a boost, which is all my boost stuff is in this nice little manifold here. And I have to hook this hose up to the boost input here on this controller. Then I'm gonna run it obviously into this extra port here, and I have one port left, and this is gonna end up working out perfect. This is actually a nice little adjustable unit. If you can see there, it says start and full, so you set your start boost. Usually about half of full boost is where you start your methanol injection. I'm gonna start a little bit lower just because, for the hell of it. And then full boost, obviously this goes up to 100 pounds. It's a diesel setup, so 100 pounds is attainable. I'll probably be at about 60 to 70 pounds on this current turbo setup. We'll see how it goes, I guess. So it's Wednesday before Back to the 50s, and I have a huge problem. This airline that I used, which I ordered from Chassis Tech, will not work. So everything is leaking. Had 60 feet of it, junk. It's oversized. So now I gotta redo all that. So it's officially D-Day, Thursday, day the car's got to go to the show. I got the trailer wheels here, painted up with my special paint job. I got my new line at about 2 p.m. and I finally got all of it ran, replaced all that line that was bad, and it's about time to start it, or to figure out, see if the air ride works, I guess. Start messing with the switches, and hopefully, knock on wood, hopefully it all works out. So we'll see what happens here. Fucking doodly doo, she works, bud. Ooh. I think. Maybe not. Uh-oh. What the fuck? I don't know what the fuck that was all about. I think my valves were sticking or something. What the fuck?
Hey guys. Oh, listen, can we have your attention for like 5 minutes down there? Y'all finished the tree, or started the tree, and we finished the tree. We're just gonna